What a fascinating institution the Academy really is. It's easy to look at an institution and see the history or the reputation, but it's such a place of people. The way the Academy fits into not just musical life in Britain, not just musical education, but music internationally, teaching it, playing it, performing it, listening to it. It's so interlinked with the entire global musical world.
I think for the Academy, this project is really significant in the sense that we tend to think we know what the story is. Getting a hold of the detail and the fabric of what that feels like for different people and how they contribute to a place like this is really quite something.
I think it's very important for everybody to know where they've come from and what's gone before. Because you don't suddenly spring up on your own and think that you're a pioneer. You are a product of what has gone before and what you have experienced.
We looked for interviewees who had at least a couple of touch points with the Academy, but maybe they'd been at Junior Academy and then came back as a student in some way, or as a teacher, or people who had at least a couple of decades of experience working here by and large. And then we layered in the other things. We wanted diversity of background, we wanted diversity of experience.
I think throughout the whole of this oral history project, we've selected people who not only can offer for posterity something about the way in which this particular organisation operates and operated in past and present, but also it gave a sense of value to the individuals who were chosen. And I think there's been a great sense of pride in having been asked to do this and being able to talk about their contributions to this place and to music in general.
Interviewees typically come and say, oh, I'm not that interesting. So there's something about believing and understanding that their story does have value, whether it's for 20 years' time or 50 or 100 years' time. And I say to people, imagine if we had the equivalent recording from 100 years ago. How valuable, how meaningful that would be.
Recording a life story, it wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be all about the Academy. And actually, that was only a small part of it. I didn't expect to talk about kind of my childhood or the rest of my career, really. So, yeah, unexpected, quite fun.
Recording a life story, so I'm smiling because it sounds completely incongruous for two reasons. One is that I hope I've got a bit of life left in me. And the second is, especially I think for musicians and freelance musicians, the way to navigate quite a lot of different things that come at you all the time and to negotiate that with your long-term dreams and what you want to do is never to look back and never to look down. It's almost like you are walking a tightrope, and if you don't think about it too much, everything kind of works out. The last thing you do is look back and narrate a life story. So I was completely unprepared for what it would feel like. But it was great. And particularly, I found it a very moving experience.
My feelings at the beginning compared to the end were very different. I thought, my initial thoughts were, who would ever want to ever hear about my life? There's nothing in it. But when you do start talking and questions lead to answers and more answers, you realise perhaps I've done a little more in my life than I thought. It's a very good exercise to stop and look what you've done before you go on and do some more.
It's a hackneyed word, I suppose, but it's been fascinating because it stirred all sorts of memories and indeed happy memories. You know, I've talked about Christopher Regan and Hugh Marchant and there were Henry Cummings, and they used to talk about their time as students and the musicians they'd met. In a curious sort of way, I sort of feel as if my association with the Academy goes back a lot further than my own time, because I recall conversations with these people that would go back to their early student days, which would have been in the early 1900s.
I think of oral life histories as, what was it like to be human in this context, in this time, in this building, in these relationships? We've been recording short videos with some of the participants who did a long life story with us. And the videos couldn't exist without the long life story. They couldn't exist without the quality of relationship, without the quality of rapport. We're not trying to video the big, obvious stories. We're trying to go into the stories about being human in the Academy, about the people, about the less obvious things.
It's almost like having a Lifetime Achievement Award, I feel like. It really does feel like that. That's what comes to mind. And it's going to be there in the British Library, which is the grandest place I can think of for any archiving materials.
It will be there for anyone to encounter at any particular point, and it will be there for us to refer to, not just historically, but also now to uncover the individual perspectives on the Academy, on music, on how a community like this works. So it does feel like a great honour to be archived.
It's good that it's going to be held down the road in the British Library, which is available to everybody. I hope that it will be of great interest to future generations.
I think it's fantastic that that this project is going to be permanent and a lasting testament to many people's life stories, because it's not often that you get a chance to speak about it, or it's recorded, or it's there for future use.
In time, there will be online access to the project, the open parts of it, and as it becomes opened. So it will be accessible around the world from any computer.